Logging is one of the most impactful tools you can use as a deer habitat manager on your hunting property. We logged on our property 4 years ago, and I want to show you what this section of woods looks like today. Alright, so I did a video 4 years ago where I was standing right up here somewhere. And I'm going to pan to that video throughout this video to just show you the difference between what it looks like 4 years ago, right after we logged, and what it looks like today. So we'll start down this trail right here, and you can see it is lush with vegetation. Now this area was primarily hard maple. There was a little bit of red oak down here. We ended up taking those out too. Now if I could go back and do it again, I probably would have left, because there was only like 4 or 5 red oaks, but I didn't specify that I wanted to save those right there. But anyway, they went too. So now we got complete full sun. And you can see, I mean, it is an abundant amount of regen in this woods. Now I will say one thing that happened right after we logged, really for the last, probably before this summer, the 3 years prior, I had almost a monoculture of that. Canada thistle, there's the Canada thistle, and some bull thistle. This whole area right here was just completely loaded with thistle. Now there is a little bit of residual thistle left, but in talking to my DNR forester, when we walked this and I showed him all the thistle, he told me not to panic. He said eventually the woody stuff will win the day. Now this area, I mean, if it was just thick thistle. Now what do we got this year? I am loaded with this goldenrod, and I've actually seen a lot of browse on this as I've been walking through here this summer and doing work. So I got tons of goldenrod. We have a lot of raspberries coming. I notice a lot of that. That's why I don't want to walk too far in, but you can see the seeds. That's beggar's lice, stuff that sticks to your clothes, but actually it's great deer food. As I get a little bit further in here, we got the red-berried elder that's popping. But this was pure thistle even just last summer. And now I'm looking and I can see some thistle on the hilltop over there and a little bit over there. But the rest of this woods is filling in with all kinds of great natives. So I am very, very excited. This is one thing I made a point of doing post-logging, was establishing some deer trails. You can see they are just beat down with traffic. Now I clear these out every year. If I have to, I'll spray them. But I basically just remove the duff and let the deer know exactly where I want them to walk. And this is why. Look at that. Look at that abundant amount of regen. Again, lots and lots of maple. But there's that red elderberry again. You can see it's nice. We still got browse within the deer's reach. But it has become just an absolute wall of cover in here. So I've shown the deer exactly where I want them to go through here. And this travel corridor kicks right out in front of a bow stand. And actually, as it goes this direction, it connects to another stand. So easy thing to do post-logging. Get these trails established, and the deer will absolutely use them. So here's kind of the ridge right here, and you can see it is just super thick. This is what we want. We want high stem count cover for the fall. Now right now I don't expect the bucks to be in stuff like this. They don't want to be scraping their velvet up against prickly ash and all that. But in the fall, this is where the deer want to be. Now I know there's does in here, I know there's fawns in here this time of year, but the bucks find those nice open spots in the summer, and they often group up near soybean fields and things like that. But this is what we want for the fall. This is phenomenal deer habitat, and then it also doubles as great winter browse and a great winter food source. And look at this, they still need woody browse in the summer too. And they're hitting that basswood as a great food source for deer. But this just looks pretty incredible. Okay, right up here I will show what I got going on. I have this cutting up into, actually that's a bedding cut. And then this is kind of the main run that runs this entire wood lot here. So here's what it looked like right after the logging, and I was really panicking. You see all that yellow and that green? It's all my Canada thistle. I don't know why the Canada thistle is yellowing like that, but I'm okay with it not looking great. But anyway, you can see a thick patch of it right here, and it all looked like that because, again, we got wide open spaces for the most part. But what's happening now, you can see as I just pan this direction, all of a sudden we got goldenrod, we got brambles, we got the raspberries, and then we got woody regen, and it's all starting to encroach on this thistle. So eventually I know even this hillside is going to fill in with trees and forbs and all kinds of good stuff over time. And Canada thistle does not tolerate shade at all. So once the woody stuff starts to encroach on this thistle, it will choke it out eventually and win the day, because that's what's happened all on that hillside over there. It was pure thistle before, and it's not thistle anymore. And I actually kind of don't mind it, because now I'm getting different stages of regen in this wood lot. Like you could see, it was 15 feet tall over there. That side that was thick thistle before is about 5 feet tall, now that the woody stuff has outcompeted it. And right here we still got the thistle, so we don't got, I mean, the woody regen's kind of underneath it, but it's not super thick yet. Here I can even get right underneath the thistle here, and what do we got? Nice little oak. So the woody stuff will win the day. Don't panic if you see a bunch of thistle coming after logging. Well, there's kind of your textbook deer bed. Literally right on a point. And look at that view. This is what we look for when we're setting up bedding. And that is a bulletproof spot. South-facing slope. Got the northwest coming over the deer's back. Bedded right here. Even you can see the browse it was doing on the goldenrod. Fun to find this kind of stuff. Boy, these young maples get crushed too. This might be stump sprout here, which obviously we know is really, really highly nutrient dense forage for deer, but fun to see all this browse right in the deer's face. That's one of the biggest benefits to logging, is to pull the cover and pull the food back down to the deer. Alright, you can see I'm back on a different travel corridor. This is the one that kind of works the downwind side of all that regen. And this one pulls right into a bow stand. Actually got like 3 intersecting trails that go right into a bow stand. This has been a great travel corridor as far as deer activity. You can see the tracks on it. But I've had bucks. If I see a buck, they use this corridor because they can be downwind of all that potential doe bedding right there. And what ends up happening is they'll work this whole thing and pull right up next to my bow stand right there. But here's another spot that just got super thick. I mean, it looks crazy thick in the summer, but the deer can bed in this. Once the leaves fall off, that foliage falls down, I mean, it opens up a little bit, but I find a ton of beds in here, especially as we get like into that late season time frame when they need that woody browse. Now this woods is super clean. I just saw something. Have to take care of that fella. But it's pretty clean from woody invasives, just a little bit of residual buckthorn. There's one right there, but I've been killing it as I find it. That's another thing when you're logging. Make sure you take care of your invasives. Oh, we got another one right there. Normally when you find one, you find more than one. But take care of your invasives before you log, because it is a pain in the butt to have to deal with it after a logging operation. Because look at this. And this is a jungle. They could be hiding in there and I wouldn't know it. Now this woods, like I said, I thought was pretty pretty much clean, but we have buckthorn in the area, so it's never going to be fully gone. But this was one that was very good to cut because there was very little buckthorn in here when they busted out the chainsaws. But awesome wall of cover, and it's just is crazy thick. So here was the other really bad area for thistle. And last year it was rank on this hillside, and now year 4, I mean, it's not terrible. It's there. You can see the brambles and the goldenrod. I'll take both of those all day. This goldenrod that's growing here, it's called Canada goldenrod. And apparently the deer love it because I'm seeing, like I said, a good amount of browse on it. But a lot of forbs, a lot of brambles on this hillside. And I know eventually I'm going to start to see ash and ironwood and maple and hopefully a little bit of oak pop in here. But kind of got an herbaceous south-facing slope, and you can see the northern slope is mostly woody stuff. But really encouraged not to see the thistle to the degree that I've been seeing it, because I would say it's 90% reduced from what it was after we logged. And one thing we did post logging is I edge feathered this entire edge. You can kind of see the wall that was created from doing that. I mean, I edge feathered all the way up through there too, just to add a little extra element of security to this woods and actually get some bedding up on that edge. Yeah, I love seeing plants like that. That red elderberry is just beautiful. I like it as a deer species. I mean, it gets browsed a little bit, but fairly browse resistant and makes nice thickets. Deer seem to like them. Even more browse on the goldenrod. They are smashing this stuff. Well, that's all I got for the tour today. If you got big, mature, closed canopy hardwoods and logging's a possibility on your property, I would definitely consider it. But again, prior to logging, try to get your invasives cleaned up, because if you bring sunlight to the forest floor and you got a bunch of invasives in there, that's what you're going to get back. So do your best to get your woody invasives cleaned up prior to logging. But if you got marketable timber, it is a very nice way to put habitat on the ground, to pull that timber out and also get a little money in your pocket. All right, y'all take care. God bless.